Welcome to Calm Mind English. Sometimes you finish a normal conversation and feel strangely empty afterward. Nothing terrible happened. Nobody shouted. You may have even enjoyed parts of it. But when you finally sit alone, your mind feels slow, your body feels heavy, and even small tasks feel harder than they should. You wonder why talking to people can leave you so drained. This kind of tiredness can be confusing, because it does not always look like stress from the outside. You may laugh, answer questions, listen carefully, and seem completely fine. Then later, when the conversation ends, your energy suddenly drops. You might come home from work and stand near the door for a moment without moving. Your bag is still on your shoulder. Your shoes are still on. You know you should wash your hands, change clothes, eat something, or reply to one more message, but your mind does not want to start anything. It can feel like your social energy was quietly spent without your permission. For some people, this happens after a long meeting. For others, it happens after a family dinner, a phone call, a conversation with a coworker, or even a friendly chat with someone they care about. The confusing part is that the people involved may not be bad for you. They may be kind, warm, and important. Still, after talking, you feel tired. One reason this happens is that conversation is not only conversation. It is listening, reading tone, watching facial expressions, choosing words, adjusting your reaction, remembering details, and trying not to misunderstand or be misunderstood. Even a simple conversation asks your mind to do many things at once. Imagine someone asking how your day was. You do not only answer the question, you also decide how honest to be. You think about whether they really want the full story. You check your tone, so you do not sound rude, cold, too negative, or too distant. Then they respond, and your mind starts reading their face, their pause, their energy, and their words. You may not notice all of this while it is happening, but your brain is working. This is why a short conversation can sometimes feel longer than it was. The clock may say 10 minutes, but your nervous system may feel as if it handled much more. Social life also asks us to be present in a special way. When you are alone, your mind can drift. You can pause without explaining. You can stare at the wall, move slowly, or do things in an imperfect order. But when someone is in front of you, your attention becomes more active. You may feel the need to respond at the right time. You may feel responsible for keeping the conversation comfortable. You may try to show that you are listening, even when part of your mind is tired. This does not mean you are fake. It means you are human. Most people adjust themselves around others. We soften our voice, smile at certain moments, hide a tired expression, or hold back a comment that may create tension. These small adjustments are normal, but they still use energy. A person can be kind and still need recovery afterward. Think about a quiet person at a lunch table. They are not unhappy. They are not angry. They are listening, nodding, answering when needed, and trying to follow the flow of the group. The conversation moves quickly. One person tells a story. Another person interrupts with a joke. Someone asks a question from across the table. The quiet person keeps shifting attention from one voice to another. By the end, everyone may say it was a nice lunch, but that person may walk away feeling as if their mind needs to shut down for a while. This is not weakness. It is a sign that their attention has been working hard. There is also a difference between physical tiredness and social tiredness. Physical tiredness often comes after moving, lifting, walking, or working with the body. Social tiredness can come even when you are sitting still. You may be physically rested but mentally drained. Your body did not run, but your attention did. Your hands did not lift anything heavy, but your mind carried tone, timing, meaning, expectation, and response. That is why the tiredness can feel hard to explain. If someone asks, "Why are you tired?" You were just talking. You may not know how to answer. You might say, I do not know. I just feel drained. That answer may sound vague, but it is often accurate. Talking can be light, but it can also be effort. The drain becomes stronger when the conversation does not allow you to relax. Some people make you feel like you must perform. Some situations make you feel watched. Some groups move too fast for your natural rhythm. In those moments, you may spend more energy managing yourself than actually enjoying the connection. You might think, am I talking too much? Am I too quiet? Did that sound strange? Should I ask another question? Did I respond correctly? These thoughts can run quietly in the background while you keep smiling and listening. Nobody sees them, but they take energy. This is why you may feel more tired after a small gathering than after several hours alone doing tasks. Alone, you can follow your own rhythm. With people, you often adjust to a shared rhythm. For some people, that adjustment is easy. For others, it is expensive. The goal is not to avoid people completely. Human connection matters. Good conversation can bring comfort, warmth, ideas, laughter, and belonging. But it helps to understand that connection still has a cost. Even good things can use energy. A sunny day can still make your eyes tired. A good workout can still make your muscles sore. A meaningful conversation can still leave your mind needing quiet. When you understand this, you stop blaming yourself so quickly. You do not have to turn your tiredness into a personal problem. You do not have to assume you are antisocial, cold, strange, or broken. You may simply have a mind that processes social information deeply. You may notice details that other people ignore. You may care about tone. You may think before speaking. You may try to make others feel comfortable. These qualities can make you thoughtful, but they can also make ordinary conversations more tiring. At the end of a social moment, your mind may need time to return to itself. That return can feel like silence. It can look like sitting in your car for a few minutes before going inside. It can look like lying down with no music, no phone, and no need to explain anything. It can look like wanting to be alone, not because you dislike anyone, but because your inner space feels full. This is an important difference. Wanting quiet after talking does not always mean you regret the conversation. It may mean your brain is sorting through everything it took in. It may mean your body is lowering its guard. It may mean your attention is finally allowed to rest. In daily life, many people ignore this need. They finish one conversation and immediately enter another. They leave work and start messaging. They come home and answer questions. They scroll through comments, news, and videos, which is another kind of social input. So the mind never fully resets. Then the tiredness builds. One conversation may not be the problem. The problem may be the lack of space after many small interactions. A short chat in the morning, a meeting at work, a message that needs a careful reply, a phone call during lunch, a conversation at home, a few online comments before bed. Each one may seem small, but together they fill the mind. This is why the first step is noticing the pattern without judging it. After talking to people, ask yourself what kind of tiredness you feel. Is it mental fog, tightness in your body, irritation, a need for silence, a feeling that you cannot make one more decision? These details matter because they show you what your system needs. If your mind feels foggy, you may need less information. If your body feels tense, you may need movement or stillness. If you feel irritated, you may need space before speaking again. If you feel emotionally heavy, you may have absorbed more than you realized. The tiredness is not random. It is communication from your system. Many people try to push through social drain by forcing themselves to be available all the time. They answer every message quickly. They keep conversations going even when they are done. They say yes to plans without checking their energy. Then they wonder why they feel resentful, numb, or exhausted. A healthier approach begins with honesty. Some conversations require recovery. Some social settings are more demanding than others. Some days your capacity is smaller. This does not make you less caring. You can care about people and still need limits. You can enjoy connection and still need silence. You can be grateful for someone and still feel tired after talking. These truths can exist together. When you stop treating social exhaustion as a flaw, you can start treating it as a signal. The signal may be saying, I need a slower transition. It may be saying, I have been paying too much attention to everyone else. It may be saying, I need to come back to my own pace. The next time you feel drained after talking, do not rush to criticize yourself. Notice the room around you. Notice the quiet. Let your mind arrive back into your own life. You do not need a dramatic answer. You may only need to understand that conversation uses energy, and your energy is real. A common reason people feel drained after conversation is not the conversation itself. It is the quiet self-monitoring that happens inside the conversation. Self-monitoring means watching yourself while you are interacting. You listen to the other person, but you also listen to yourself. You check your words, your face, your tone, your timing, and your reactions. It can happen so quickly that you do not notice it as a separate effort. You may be talking with a coworker about something simple, like a schedule change. While they speak, your mind is already doing several things. You are trying to understand the information, respond politely, sound confident, avoid sounding annoyed, and keep your expression normal. From the outside, it looks like a normal exchange. Inside, it can feel like managing a small control room. Some people learned this kind of self-monitoring early. They became used to reading the room before speaking. They learned to notice when someone was disappointed, impatient, bored, angry, or distant. They learned that saying the wrong thing could make the atmosphere uncomfortable. So now, even in safe situations, their mind still checks everything. This can make ordinary social life feel like performance. Performance does not always mean pretending to be someone else. It can mean trying to present a version of yourself that will not create problems. You try to be pleasant enough, clear enough, warm enough, calm enough, and useful enough. Each of those efforts may be small. Together, they can become heavy. Imagine someone named Daniel at work. He is not shy in an obvious way. He can speak, answer questions, and joke a little. People may think he is easygoing. But during every conversation, Daniel is scanning himself. If he speaks too much, he worries he sounded selfish. If he speaks too little, he worries he seemed cold. If he disagrees, he worries he created tension. If he agrees too quickly, he worries he seemed weak. By the end of the day, Daniel is not only tired from work, he is tired from watching himself work. This is one of the hidden causes of social exhaustion. When your attention is divided between the other person and your own performance, the conversation becomes more demanding. You are not simply present. You are present and evaluating yourself at the same time. This can happen with people you barely know, but it can also happen with people close to you. In fact, close relationships can sometimes increase the pressure because their opinion matters more. You may care deeply about not hurting them. You may want to respond correctly. You may want to be supportive, interesting, patient, or emotionally available. The stronger the desire to do well, the more energy the conversation may use. This does not mean caring is bad. It means caring without rest can become strain. Social drain often grows when you feel responsible for the emotional temperature of the room. If the conversation becomes awkward, you try to fix it. If someone gets quiet, you wonder if you did something wrong. If the mood drops, you search for a way to lift it. You may not even call this responsibility. It may feel automatic. Someone pauses, and your mind fills the silence. Someone answers shortly, and your mind tries to decode the meaning. Someone looks away, and you wonder if they are bored or upset. Most of the time, these signs may mean nothing serious. People pause because they are thinking. They answer shortly because they are tired. They look away because something caught their attention. But a self-monitoring mind treats every small signal as information to manage. This is exhausting because it keeps you in a state of social alertness. The alertness may be mild, but it is still alertness. You are not fully relaxed. Your mind is not resting in the conversation. It is working to prevent discomfort. There is another layer too. Many people drain themselves by editing their natural response before it can come out. They want to say, I am tired, but they say, I am fine. They want to say, I need time to think, but they answer immediately. They want to say, I cannot do that today, but they soften it until the boundary almost disappears. Every edit may seem polite, but constant editing can make you feel disconnected from yourself. After the conversation, you may feel tired and slightly strange, as if you were there but not fully there. You were managing your image, your tone, and the other person's comfort, but your own honest experience stayed in the background. That kind of interaction can leave a person feeling empty. One sign of heavy self-monitoring is replaying conversations afterward. You may go over what you said, how they reacted, whether your joke sounded strange, whether your answer was too direct, or whether you should have asked one more question. The conversation is over, but your mind keeps working. This is why social exhaustion can continue even after you are alone. The event ended, but the review process began. Your brain keeps searching for mistakes, unclear moments, or possible misunderstandings. It may feel like your mind is trying to protect you from future embarrassment, but if it happens too often, it becomes a second conversation inside your head. First, you talk to the person. Then, you talk to yourself about how you talk to the person. That second conversation can be even more tiring than the first. The solution is not to stop caring about how you communicate. Communication matters. Kindness matters. Awareness matters. The problem is when awareness turns into constant surveillance. Healthy awareness says, I want to be respectful. Self-surveillance says, I must watch every part of myself so nothing goes wrong. Those two states feel different in the body. Healthy awareness has room to breathe. Self-surveillance feels tight. It makes conversation feel like a test. If you often feel drained after talking, it may help to ask one question. Was I connecting, or was I performing? This question is not meant to judge you. It simply helps you see where your energy went. If you were performing, you may notice that you spent the conversation trying to be acceptable. You may have smiled when you wanted to pause. You may have agreed when you needed more time. You may have kept the conversation alive even after your energy had ended. Seeing this pattern clearly is the beginning of changing it. One small change is allowing more natural pauses. You do not need to answer every sentence immediately. A short pause can give your mind time to respond instead of perform. Another small change is using simpler words. When people are tired, they often try to over-explain so they will not be misunderstood. But over-explaining can drain you more. A simple sentence can be enough. You can say, I need a moment to think about that. You can say, I am a little tired today, so I may be quieter. You can say, I understand what you mean, but I need time before I answer. These sentences do not require drama. They simply give your mind space. Many people are afraid that being more natural will make them seem rude. But often, the opposite is true. When you are less tense, your presence becomes clearer. You may speak less, but your words feel more honest. People do not always need a perfect version of you. Often, they can handle the real version better than your fear expects. Of course, not every environment is safe for full honesty. Some workplaces, families, or social groups do require more caution. In those places, your tiredness may be telling you something important about the cost of that environment. You may not be able to change everything immediately, but you can stop pretending the cost is zero. If a certain conversation drains you every time, there may be a reason. Maybe you cannot relax around that person. Maybe you feel judged. Maybe you always have to explain yourself. Maybe the conversation has no room for your pace. Your body may notice this before your mind can name it. This is why self-monitoring deserves attention. It is not only a habit. It is often a protective strategy. At some point, your mind learned that watching yourself helped you stay safe, liked, accepted, or out of conflict. So it makes sense that the habit exists. But a strategy that helped you before may become too expensive now. You can begin by lowering the pressure one conversation at a time. You do not need to become completely open with everyone. You do not need to force yourself to be socially bold. You only need to notice where you are spending energy that no one else can see. During a conversation, try to feel your feet on the floor. Notice if your jaw is tight. Notice if you are smiling automatically. Notice if you are rushing to fill silence. These small signals show when performance has taken over. Then gently return to the actual conversation. Listen to the person's words, not every possible hidden meaning. Let your face be normal. Let your answer be simple. Let one quiet second exist before you speak. This is not a technique for impressing others. It is a way to stop leaving yourself behind. When you talk to people, you do not have to manage every moment perfectly. A conversation can have pauses. It can be slightly uneven. It can be ordinary. Most real conversations are not polished. The more you accept that, the less energy you spend trying to control everything. And when you stop controlling everything, talking may still use energy, but it may no longer empty you so deeply. Some conversations drain you because you are not only hearing words. You are taking in emotion. A person may tell you about their stress, anger, disappointment, worry, or sadness. You listen carefully because you care. You want to be kind. You want them to feel understood. But while you are listening, your mind may begin to carry some of their emotional weight. This is emotional absorption. It happens when another person's mood enters your system and stays there for a while. You may start the conversation feeling calm, then leave feeling heavy. Their problem is not your problem. But your body reacts as if something serious has happened near you. Your face becomes serious. Your shoulders tighten. Your thoughts slow down. You may not know what changed. You only know you feel different after talking. This can happen with people you love. A friend tells you about a conflict. A family member shares worry about money, health, or the future. A coworker complains with sharp frustration. Someone speaks in a heavy tone for a long time. You listen, and your mind begins to match the emotional atmosphere. Humans are built for this to some degree. We read one another. We respond to tone, expression, and energy. This helps us connect. If someone is happy, their energy can lift the room. If someone is tense, their tension can spread. If someone is worried, their worry can make others alert too. This is not imagination. It is part of social life. But some people absorb more than others. They do not simply understand what someone is feeling. They begin to feel near it. They hold the emotion in their body, even after the conversation ends. They may carry the conversation into the evening. Imagine a woman named Mira. In the morning, she feels steady. She has a normal day ahead. Then a friend calls and talks for 40 minutes about a painful argument. Mira listens with care. She says the right things. She does not interrupt. She tries to understand both sides. She wants to be supportive. After the call, her friend feels a little lighter. Mira, however, feels heavy. She sits at her desk and cannot return to her work easily. Her mind keeps replaying the friend's voice. She imagines the situation. She thinks about what might happen next. She wonders if she should have given better advice. The friend's emotion has moved through the phone and settled inside her day. This is not because Mira is weak. It is because she listens deeply without creating enough separation. Deep listening is valuable, but without boundaries, it can become emotional labor. Emotional labor means managing feelings, either your own or someone else's, as part of the interaction. You may calm someone down, make them feel heard, hide your own discomfort, and stay steady so they can fall apart safely. That can be a generous act. It can also be draining. The drain becomes stronger when the conversation has no balance. One person speaks for a long time. The other person only receives. One person releases emotion. The other person holds it. If this happens often, the listener may start to feel tired before the conversation even begins. They may see a name on their phone and feel their body tighten. They may care about the person, but already know the call will require a lot. They may answer with kindness, while part of them quietly wishes they had more space. This inner conflict can create guilt. You may think, why do I feel tired of someone I love? Or, why do I want to avoid this call when they need support? These thoughts can feel uncomfortable. But needing emotional space does not mean you do not care. It means your system has limits. A cup can only hold so much water before it spills. A mind can only hold so much emotional information before it needs rest. Some people drain you not because they are bad, but because their conversations often come with intensity. Every topic is urgent. Every problem is detailed. Every feeling is strong. Every silence feels like a request for more support. After a while, your body begins to prepare for impact. This is why you may feel drained even before meeting certain people. Your mind remembers the emotional pattern. It expects to listen hard, respond carefully, and carry the mood afterward. Anticipation itself uses energy. There is also a difference between empathy and absorption. Empathy allows you to understand and care. Absorption makes you take the feeling into yourself as if it belongs to you. Empathy can say, this is painful for them. Absorption feels, this pain is now inside me too. The difference matters. If you absorb every emotion around you, your own inner weather becomes unstable. Someone else's anger becomes your tension. Someone else's worry becomes your anxiety. Someone else's sadness becomes your heaviness. Then by the end of the day, you may not know which feelings are yours. One helpful practice is to silently name what belongs to whom. During or after a heavy conversation, you can think, this is their anger. This is their fear. This is their disappointment. I can care without carrying all of it. This is not cold. It is clear. Without this clarity, caring becomes confusing. You may feel responsible for solving what you only heard. You may feel guilty for being okay when someone else is not. You may feel pressure to keep checking on them, even when you are exhausted. But you are allowed to be a witness without becoming the container for everything. A witness listens, respects, and responds. A container absorbs, holds, and stores. Many drained people have become containers. They are the person others come to because they listen well. They are calm, patient, and thoughtful. They do not judge quickly. They make space. These are beautiful qualities. But if there is no limit, others may pour more and more into that space. Then the listener starts to disappear under the weight of everyone else's feelings. You may notice this in small ways. After talking to someone, you lose your appetite. You feel a pressure in your chest. You cannot enjoy something simple. You feel responsible even though nothing was asked directly. You keep checking your phone because you worry they may need more help. These are signs that the conversation did not fully end inside your system. To recover, you may need a transition, not a dramatic ritual, just a simple movement from their emotional world back into yours. You can wash your hands slowly after a heavy call. You can step outside for a few minutes. You can write one sentence about what you heard and then close the notebook. You can drink water and look around your own room. The purpose is to tell your mind, that conversation is over for now. I am here. Your body needs that signal because emotion can linger like a scent in a room. Another helpful boundary is deciding what kind of support you can realistically give. Sometimes you can listen for 10 minutes. Sometimes you can offer one honest thought. Sometimes you can say, I care about you, but I do not have enough energy to talk deeply tonight. This may feel difficult at first, especially if you are used to being endlessly available. But endless availability is not the same as love. It is often fear, guilt, or habit. Healthy support has shape. It has time, space, and limits. It does not require you to become empty so someone else can feel full. You can be kind and still protect your attention. In some conversations, the other person may not want support. They may want someone to absorb their frustration. They may repeat the same story many times. They may reject every suggestion but continue to release emotion. In those situations, you may leave feeling especially tired because the conversation has no movement. It only circles. A circular emotional conversation can be very draining. It creates the feeling that you are walking with someone but never arriving anywhere. You listen, respond, and listen again, but the same intensity returns. When this happens, it is reasonable to limit the time. You can say, I hear that this is really heavy. I can listen for a little while, but I may not be able to solve it. You can say, this sounds important, and I think you may need more support than I can give tonight. You can say, I care, but I need to rest now. These sentences may feel uncomfortable, but they are honest. The goal is not to become distant. The goal is to keep your care sustainable. If your care always drains you, eventually you may start avoiding people completely. But if your care has boundaries, you can stay connected without losing yourself. Emotional absorption also happens in groups. A room full of tension can leave you tired even if nobody talks directly to you. A meeting where people are irritated, defensive, or passive-aggressive can drain your nervous system. You may spend the whole meeting reading what is not being said. Afterward, you may feel like you were in conflict, even if you never spoke. Your mind had to track the atmosphere. This is another reason social tiredness can feel invisible. You may not have done anything obvious, but you sensed a lot. Sensing is work. If you are a person who senses deeply, you need recovery after emotional input. You need quiet not because you are avoiding life, but because you are clearing your system. You may need to ask, what did I pick up today that is not mine? Maybe you picked up a coworker's stress. Maybe you picked up a friend's worry. Maybe you picked up a family member's disappointment. Maybe you picked up the heavy mood of a room. Once you name it, you can begin to put it down. Putting it down does not mean you stop caring. It means you return ownership to the right place. Their feeling can matter without becoming your whole evening. This is one of the most important lessons for people who feel drained after talking. You may not need less kindness. You may need more separation. A clear boundary can protect a warm heart. When you finish a heavy conversation, try to come back to something simple and real. The floor under your feet, the light in your room, the sound of water, the object on your desk, your own breathing without turning it into a technique. Let your attention land on your life again. You are allowed to leave a conversation with care, not with the full weight of another person's world. Social exhaustion does not only happen in the mind. It also happens in the body. After talking to people, you may notice tight shoulders, a heavy head, tired eyes, a dry throat, or a strange pressure in your chest. You may feel like lying down even though you did not do physical work. This happens because conversation uses the nervous system. When you interact with people, your body becomes more alert. Your eyes track movement. Your ears follow tone. Your face makes expressions. Your voice changes volume and rhythm. Your posture adjusts to show interest, respect, or confidence. These actions may seem small, but they are still actions. Think about a long conversation in a busy place. There may be background noise, music, other voices, lights, movement, and interruptions. You have to focus on the person speaking while filtering everything else. Your brain separates their voice from the noise. Your face shows that you are listening. Your body stays oriented toward them. Your mouth prepares responses. Your memory holds what they just said. After an hour, you may feel tired because your body has been working quietly the entire time. One major part is facial control. In social situations, people often manage their face without thinking. They smile, nod, raise their eyebrows, soften their expression, or hide irritation and boredom. This is normal social behavior. But holding a socially acceptable face for a long time can create tension. Your jaw may tighten. Your cheeks may feel tired. Your eyes may feel dry. Your forehead may hold small strain. When you finally get home, your face can relax. And that release may make you realize how much effort you were using. Posture also matters. Around other people, many people sit or stand in a more controlled way. They do not fully slump. They do not move freely. They keep their body organized. In a meeting, you may sit upright for a long time. In a conversation, you may lean forward to show attention. At a dinner table, you may hold your body in a polite position. These small muscular efforts add up. Then there is voice. Speaking is physical. It uses breath, throat, mouth, timing, and energy. If you have to speak in a louder room, explain something carefully, or keep your tone calm when you are tired, your body works harder. People who use a second language may feel this even more. The brain searches for words, checks grammar, listens harder, and monitors pronunciation while also trying to follow the conversation. This does not mean they are failing. It means the body and mind are doing extra work. Even in your first language, conversation can be demanding. In a second language, the drain can become stronger because listening and speaking require more active effort. You may not only hear words. You may translate, predict, correct, and prepare at the same time. Afterward, your brain may feel slow because it has been processing at high speed. The nervous system also reacts to social evaluation. When you feel watched, judged, or uncertain, your body may become slightly stressed. Your heart rate can rise a little. Your muscles can prepare. Your attention can sharpen. This reaction may not be obvious. You may not feel panic. You may simply feel alert. But staying mildly alert for a long time can be tiring. It is like keeping a laptop open with many programs running. Nothing is crashing. Everything seems fine, but the battery drains faster. Your body is similar. A conversation can run many internal programs: listening, speaking, reading emotion, controlling expression, managing posture, filtering noise, and staying ready to respond. When the conversation ends, the battery level is lower. Some people become drained because their body does not fully relax during social interaction. They may be safe, but their system does not feel completely safe. It stays prepared. This can happen because of past experiences, personality, stress level, or the specific people around them. If your body expects criticism, conflict, or misunderstanding, it may stay guarded even during calm conversations. A guarded body spends more energy than a relaxed body. You may notice this after meeting someone who makes you feel judged. Even if the conversation was polite, your body may feel tired. You may have held your breath slightly. You may have kept your shoulders lifted. You may have monitored every response. The body remembers pressure before the mind explains it. Noise and stimulation can also create social fatigue. A crowded restaurant, a busy office, a family gathering, or a loud event can overload your senses. You are not only talking to people. You are receiving too much sound, movement, smell, light, and information. In that situation, the tiredness may come from sensory load as much as emotional load. You may enjoy the people, but the environment still drains you. This is why a quiet one-on-one conversation may feel easier than a group gathering. In a group, attention has to move constantly. One person speaks, another reacts, someone changes the topic, someone laughs, someone interrupts. Your brain keeps tracking the social map. In a one-on-one conversation, the map is simpler. One voice, one face, one direction of attention, less social complexity. Your energy may depend strongly on that difference. The body also needs transitions. Many people move from one social setting to another without a break. They finish work meetings, drive home while listening to something, answer family questions, then look at messages or social media. The nervous system never gets a clear signal that it can power down. Without that signal, tiredness becomes background noise. A simple transition can help the body return to baseline. This may mean sitting in the car for 2 quiet minutes before going inside. It may mean changing clothes immediately after work. It may mean washing your face, stretching your neck, or standing near a window. These actions are not magic. They are signals. They tell your body, the social mode is ending. You can release. Social mode is a real thing. In social mode, your body is outward-facing. It watches, responds, adjusts, and prepares. Recovery mode is inward-facing. It slows, digests, loosens, and returns attention to your own needs. Many drained people never give themselves enough recovery mode. They think rest means sleeping later. But the body often needs smaller rests between social inputs. A quiet walk, a meal without talking, 10 minutes without a screen, a moment where no one needs anything from you. These small rests prevent the body from carrying social tension into the whole evening. Sleep can also be affected by too much social stimulation. After a long or intense conversation, you may lie in bed and feel tired but mentally awake. Your body is exhausted, but your mind keeps processing. You replay words, faces, tone, and possible meanings. Your nervous system has not fully settled. This can be frustrating because you want rest, but your body still feels activated. A helpful approach is to reduce input after socially heavy days. That may mean no difficult messages at night. It may mean avoiding intense videos or online arguments. It may mean choosing quiet over more conversation. Your nervous system cannot calm down if you keep feeding it new signals. Another physical factor is decision fatigue. Conversation includes many small choices. What should I say? Should I ask a follow-up? Should I laugh? Should I explain? Should I end the conversation? Should I check my phone? Should I stay longer? Each choice is small, but the body feels the accumulation. By the end, even choosing dinner can feel difficult. This is why social recovery should be simple. Do not create a complicated routine that becomes another task. Choose 1 or 2 actions that reduce input. Turn down the light. Sit somewhere quiet. Drink water. Stop answering messages for a while. Let your face rest. Let your shoulders drop. Let your voice be unused. The body often recovers through less. Less noise. Less expression. Less response. Less pressure. Less information. If you are drained after talking, try noticing where the tiredness lives in your body. Is it in your eyes? Your throat? Your shoulders? Your stomach? Your head? The location can tell you what was working hardest. Tired eyes may mean too much visual attention. A dry throat may mean too much talking. Tight shoulders may mean guarded posture. A heavy head may mean cognitive overload. A tight chest may mean emotional pressure or social alertness. You do not need to analyze everything. Just notice enough to respond wisely. A person who feels throat fatigue may need silence. A person with tight shoulders may need stretching or warmth. A person with a heavy head may need darkness and less information. A person with emotional pressure may need space from more intense conversations. This is practical self-awareness. The body is not separate from social life. It is the place where social life lands. When you understand this, you stop expecting yourself to feel fresh after every interaction. You start respecting the physical cost of attention, expression, posture, voice, and alertness. Talking to people can be meaningful. It can also be work for the nervous system. After social time, your body may not need criticism. It may need release. Let the jaw soften. Let the shoulders fall. Let your eyes stop searching for signals. Let the room be quiet enough that your system can remember it is safe. This is how the body returns from conversation back to rest. The most useful question is not, how do I stop feeling drained forever? A better question is, how do I design my life so social energy has room to recover? You may not be able to avoid every tiring conversation. You may have work, family, responsibilities, meetings, phone calls, and daily interactions. Life includes people, but you can change how you enter social time, how you leave it, and how you recover afterward. The first step is accepting that your social energy has limits. This sounds simple, but many people live as if their energy should be unlimited. They expect themselves to answer every message, attend every gathering, stay cheerful, listen deeply, and still be productive afterward. Then they feel disappointed when their mind shuts down. A more honest approach is to treat social energy like any other resource. It can be spent. It can be protected. It can be renewed. You would not expect your phone battery to last forever without charging. Yet many people expect their attention to keep giving without pause. Start by noticing which conversations drain you most. Not all social time is equal. Some people leave you feeling clear and steady. Some leave you feeling tense. Some conversations are light. Some require careful emotional work. Some settings feel easy. Others feel like your whole body is on alert. This map matters. You may discover that you are not drained by people in general. You are drained by specific patterns. Too much noise, too many people at once. Too much emotional intensity, too much self-monitoring, too little time to recover, or conversations where you cannot be honest. Once you see the pattern, you can design around it. For example, if group conversations drain you, you may need more one-on-one time. If emotional calls drain you, you may need time limits. If work meetings drain you, you may need quiet after them before starting another demanding task. If social media drains you, you may need to treat it as social input, not rest. Many people think scrolling is recovery because they are alone while doing it. But the mind may still be reading faces, opinions, conflict, comparison, and emotional signals. That is not always rest. Sometimes it is another room full of voices. Real recovery usually has fewer voices. One useful habit is creating a transition space after social interaction. This space does not have to be long. Even 5 minutes can help if it is truly quiet. After work, before entering home life, sit in the car or stand outside for a moment. After a phone call, do not immediately open messages. After a meeting, look away from the screen and let your eyes rest. A transition protects the next part of your day. Without transition, one social demand spills into another. You may come home already drained, then react sharply to small questions. You may answer a message too quickly and regret your tone. You may start a task with no mental space left. The issue is not that you are impatient. The issue is that your system never had a chance to reset. Another part of recovery design is learning to close conversations gently. Many drained people stay too long because they do not know how to end things without guilt. They keep talking after they are tired. They answer one more question. They listen for 10 more minutes. They wait for the other person to end it. By the time the conversation stops, their energy is already below zero. A simple closing sentence can protect you. You can say, "I need to get going now, but it was good to talk." You can say, "I have to rest a bit, so I will reply later." You can say, "Let's pause here for today." These sentences are not rude. They are clear. The earlier you close, the less resentment you build. There is also value in preparing people for your rhythm. If you often reply slowly, say that. If you need quiet after work, explain it before the moment becomes tense. If you cannot do long phone calls at night, make that pattern known. People do not always need constant access to you. They often need clarity. When you are clear, others do not have to guess. You also do not have to keep fighting the same boundary inside yourself. A good boundary is not a wall. It is a doorway with a handle. It lets connection happen at a pace you can actually sustain. Some people fear boundaries because they think it means becoming cold. But boundaries can make you warmer. When you are not secretly exhausted, you can be more present. When you are not overextending, you can listen with less resentment. A protected person can often care better. You can also design your schedule with social weight in mind. Do not place all demanding conversations on the same day if you can avoid it. Do not plan a heavy meeting, a difficult call, and a noisy gathering back-to-back unless it is truly necessary. Your calendar may show time blocks, but it may not show emotional cost. You have to add that awareness yourself. A 1-hour meeting and a 1-hour quiet task may look equal on paper. They are not always equal in the nervous system. Social recovery also depends on the environment. A calm physical space helps the mind return to itself. After talking to people, reduce stimulation. Lower harsh lighting if possible. Put away unnecessary noise. Clear one small surface. Sit somewhere that does not demand performance from you. The body relaxes more easily when the environment stops asking for attention. This does not require a perfect home. It may be one chair, one corner, one cup of tea, one quiet drive, one walk around the block. The point is to create a place where you do not have to respond. Recovery begins when nothing is asking you to perform. There is also a mindset shift that helps. Stop measuring your care by your availability. You may think a good friend, partner, parent, coworker, or family member should always be ready to talk. But constant availability is not the same as real presence. Real presence means you are actually there when you choose to be there. It means your listening has attention behind it. It means your words are not coming from an empty place. Sometimes the most responsible thing you can say is, "I cannot talk deeply right now." That sentence can protect both people. It prevents you from pretending to listen when you are already gone inside. It also prevents the other person from receiving a tired version of your care. Honesty can be kinder than forced attention. For people who feel drained after talking, silence is not a luxury. It is maintenance. It is where the mind clears social signals and returns to its own center. Silence may feel strange at first if you are used to constant input. You may reach for your phone. You may feel restless. You may think you should be doing something. But after a while, silence can become a place where your thoughts slow down. You begin to hear your own needs again. Hunger, tiredness, irritation, calm, a desire to move, a desire to stop. These signals are often buried under other people's voices. Recovery brings them back. You can build a simple after-social routine. End the conversation. Drink water. Put your phone away for 10 minutes. Loosen your body. Let the room be quiet. Ask yourself, what do I need before I speak again? That question is small, but it changes the direction of attention. Instead of immediately preparing for the next person, you return to yourself. Some days, what you need may be food. Some days, sleep. Some days, a walk. Some days, a message that says, "I will reply tomorrow." Some days, nothing but quiet. The answer does not have to sound impressive. It only has to be honest. You may still feel drained after talking to people. That may not disappear completely. But with better boundaries, clearer transitions, and more respect for your own energy, the drain can become less confusing and less damaging. You can stop seeing it as proof that something is wrong with you. Maybe your mind listens deeply. Maybe your body reacts strongly to social input. Maybe your attention is careful. Maybe you need more space than some people around you. That is information, not failure. When you understand your social energy, you can build a life that includes connection and recovery. You do not have to choose only one. You can talk with people, then return to quiet. You can care about others, then come back to your own body. You can be present in conversation, then let yourself rest without guilt. A healthy life is not one where you are always available. It is one where your energy has a place to come home to. So the next time you feel drained after talking, try one small action. Close the door softly. Put the phone down. Sit in the quiet for a few minutes. Let the room hold nothing for you. That simple pause may not solve every problem, but it can remind your mind of one steady truth. You are allowed to recover after connection.